How to get rid of your husband's mistress. In this video, we'll talk about how to get rid of your husband's mistress in an eco-friendly way. And get rid of her for good, meaning there won't be a replacement of one mistress with another. If you skillfully and clearly understand the reasons for infidelity, the man may stop cheating altogether. Before we move on to the discussion, I ask you to click the button, subscribe, and like so that as many people as possible can see it. So, let's get started. This video is for those women who are ready to take their man back from the mistress, ready to forgive the infidelity, and move on with their lives. First, let's understand the types of mistresses. There are several, and the first type, she doesn't know that he is married, meaning the man met the mistress as a girl or a woman. In other words, she thinks she is building a relationship with the future. She doesn't know that he is married, as he skillfully hides it. She might find out about the existence of a wife even from the wife herself, meaning the wife might already know there is a mistress, but the mistress might not know there is a wife. So if there is such a mistress next to your man, it means that, most likely, when she finds out that the man is married, she will leave the relationship on her own. But why did the man get involved? Why did your husband get involved in such a relationship? He simply wanted to recall the moments of specifically your meeting, to relive the moments of dating, to feel young again. He was trying to replay the relationship you had. At the very beginning, what should be done? The woman, the wife, needs to remember what she was like. At the very beginning, what she has lost, what it was about her that her man, her husband liked so much. Try to become the girl she once was. Try to arrange dates, try to replay some moments from the past so that the man can feel those emotions again. The man doesn't want to leave his wife. He doesn't tell the girl that he's married because he doesn't intend to continue these relationships for long, but he wants to dive a little into the past. Let him feel it. That past. Immerse him in the beginning of your relationship, and then there will be no place for a mistress. Next, the festive woman. Usually men who have a lot of extra resources have such mistresses. A lot of time, money, something in excess. And often this is a well-off man. That is, at home, everything is settled and going well, but he lacks that very celebration. And the woman, the celebration is actually very demanding. That is, money starts to flow out of the family significantly. And the wife begins to notice that there are some excessively large expenses. Why doesn't the man get the celebration at home? The woman needs to ask herself this question. But what does the wife start doing when her husband gets a mistress? She begins to control him a lot. With the woman who is the celebration, this won't work. It's necessary to try to emotionally enrich the relationship. That is, if your man has resources in abundance, let him spend those resources not on a mistress. Arrange some interesting dates, go on a trip, open up in new ways, and enjoy life. It's precisely the enjoyment in these relationships that the man is missing. That is, everything might be fine for him, a home, a full cup, perhaps, but there's no celebration and enjoyment. Give him that celebration and those pleasures, and the man won't want to waste his time elsewhere. Next, the gray mouse. There's a stereotype that a mistress must be some long-legged beauty who just drives you crazy, but mistresses can be different. It's precisely what the man lacks in the family that he finds outside his home, and it can be a long-legged beauty who gives him celebration, a spectacle and emotions, or it could be a gray mouse. So the gray mouse, what can she offer a man? Why does a man whose life might be very beautiful and striking, and everything about her is wonderful, still find himself drawn to a gray mouse? Because the wife conveys in the relationship that the man must. She pressures him in the relationship and possibly even belittles him at times. In other words, he doesn't feel like a hero with her. But the gray mouse is the kind of woman who, due to her low self-esteem, is ready for any relationship, any feelings. That is, even knowing that he is married, knowing that he will never leave his wife, she is ready, well, at least like this. So this gray mouse will hang on his every word. He will be her hero, and the man will feel this. That is, he wants to feel like a big deal, on top of the world, like a hero, a conqueror, a macho man. He feels all this next to the gray mouse, and until the moment his wife gives him these feelings, he might cheat with the gray mouse. Therefore, try to change this attitude towards the man that he owes everything to the family and learn to praise him. Learn to admire him and thank him for certain moments, so that the man understands he is boosting his masculine energy at home as well. That is, he receives admiration from his wife. He receives delight from his wife. He understands that. He feels on top of the world. He feels the way he wants to feel, and why would he then waste his time and resources on another woman? If the home is a full cup, then there's the mother-in-law. That is, if you understand wives. Often find out about mistresses, they see them, they understand. Sometimes a woman is shocked by the choice. The wife is in shock by the fact that he chose such a mistress. For example, someone plain, not at all impressive in the wife's opinion. So if he chose a motherly type, it means that in these relationships, the wife is beautiful and smart, and she's climbing the career ladder, and she's an incredibly strong personality. But the home, let's say, is neglected, meaning there's no coziness, warmth, no delicious dinner. At home, that is, there are some dinners in restaurants, and there's no sense of family. And then the man will go to another woman, and where? He will get that feeling of coziness and warmth. If you realize this is about you, then perhaps hire a housekeeper who will create. You don't have time, you're busy with your career or something else, who will create that very coziness that your man needs. Try to cook something yourself so that your home feels warm, cozy, and delicious. It doesn't take much effort to make it smell like food. Sometimes specially hired people can do this, but the man will feel at home the way he would like to feel, and he won't just need that motherly figure. Moving on, the huntress. This is the most dangerous type of mistress. She sees a successful man, she sees that the man is wealthy, and she wants to take him by all means. This woman will act by all means. She will make it clear to the wife that she is there with perfumes and lipsticks and late-night calls. She will do everything to irritate the wife so that the wife herself will kick her husband out of the house. But how can you overcome such a huntress? First of all, do not fall for her provocations. Do not meet with her under any circumstances. Do not try to talk to her. Do not try to find her. Limit all financial resources. But you can't just tell your husband, I forbid you to spend on a mistress. Naturally, he won't listen to you. There's a trick here. For example, you can suggest to your husband to buy a new vacation home for the whole family, something that interests your man, which will take a large portion of your budget. And naturally, when the spending on the mistress is limited because the purchase is substantial and large, the mistress huntress won't like it because she needs expensive gifts and she will go looking for a more generous man. Next, the natural-born mistress. This mistress is fine with everything, including the presence of a wife, and she doesn't want to take anyone away from their family. This mistress might already have her own family. She just likes to enjoy the benefits, receive gifts, and be courted. In other words, she meets up, gets what she wants, doesn't claim anything, she's satisfied with everything, and such relationships can actually last a very long time. The most important thing here is communication. You need to have an open conversation with your husband to say what is unacceptable for you. Third parties in relationships suggest to him to take a break. Since the mistress is not ready to leave her family, most likely, she is not ready to get married. She doesn't want to do laundry, clean. She doesn't want to do what a wife does. She just wants to enjoy all the benefits. She will not be ready for a serious relationship. Precisely. At the moment when the wife indicates to the man that she is ready to leave him, when he spends some time alone, he may realize what he has done and choose to give up the mistress in favor of his wife. So, how do you get rid of a mistress? 3 simple steps. First, fill his masculine time. When a man has his masculine time, that is, when he comes home from work, which is usually in the evenings, and some weekends, fill them with bright and colorful activities. Come up with something. Yes, of course, for the woman, the wife. It's all unpleasant with a lot of hurt and many emotions. But if you understand that you want to keep the family and keep your man close, then tantrums and scandals, control, is not your best helper right now. You need to act, let's say, like the mistress does. Arrange wonderful evenings for him. Fill his time with some interesting moments. Start organizing some exciting trips, meetings with friends, so that the man begins to spend interesting time with you, moving forward a flash from the past. Reenact a moment, a scene, a vivid one from your past. Perhaps it's a scene from when you first met or a memorable date. Maybe you were holding hands somewhere, sitting, looking at the stars and dreaming. Set up this scene. Just anchor your man to this wonderful moment in your life. He will remember how much he loves you. At that moment, he will realize that he's just confused right now and has gone off track. You can style your hair the way you did back when you had some of your first dates. In other words, anything that will remind him of those vivid feelings and emotions from when you met, when your feelings were just beginning to blossom. And positive anchors are a new impression, new emotions. Go out for new experiences, try something new together, learn to laugh together, do something that will open your souls when you laugh together. Enjoy life, even if right now you feel like saying a lot of complicated words. Think about all your emotions and think about what is more important to you now, to save your family, and perhaps this is for your family. Such a difficult test to take it to a new level, or to give your husband to his mistress. That's all for this video. I was Elisa Vardomskaya, hoping for your likes and subscriptions. Write in the comments what you'd like to discuss in my new videos. Don't forget to hit the bell, and goodbye to everyone.